Thank you very much, Professor Bertolini. For me, it's a great privilege and honor to be here. I am really impressed by the presentation that I have seen before from the director of the center. You are working, or you are here now in one of the top centers in the world, probably, in transplantation, especially for leading the nation. And I have seen in the Professor Spuda presentation that it is focused mainly on low immunological risk patients in general. So perhaps the next step for the talk would be to face with difficult high immunological risk patients. And perhaps this is why I am here today giving the first talk on this topic, because we have a challenge with immunological risk patients, because we are now suffering a lot with these kinds of patients. The low immunological risk patients are not easy, of course, but we have been very happy with the results we have had during the last couple of decades, especially seeing this evolution in immune suppression, etc. We now have to find a solution for those patients that have developed antibodies and have developed strong reactions against a lot of antigens, high PRAs, etc., etc. During the last years or decades, we have developed from the late 60s, where the CDC NIH CROSSMATCH was developed by Terasaki in the United States. This was really very specific, so it measures the true death of the cells when you confront donor lymphocytes with the serum of the recipient, and you see a great specificity, but you lost a lot of antibodies with this reaction. You need a very strong reaction to become positive. With the passing of the years, we reached this flow cytometry CDC CROSSMATCH, and with this we decreased a little bit the specificity but increased sensitivity. So we were able to take more patients with reactions, but we were able to do transplantation with a positive flow CDC CROSSMATCH. We will see in a moment how this has decreased our good results, but if you do transplantation with a positive flow CROSSMATCH, but definitely you can do it, and you have more risk for antibody-mediated rejection, etc., but you can do it definitely. And then the last decade has faced the solid phase assays that are not taking the true reactions in the lab of cell death that CDC CROSSMATCH or flow CROSSMATCH are seeing in the previous years. You see directly the antibodies that the patient has in the blood that will or not react with the antigen donors that you put with your kidney that are transplanted. Initially it was an ELISA technique, then the flow beads, and more recently the single antigen beads with the Luminex technology that I will show you in a moment. This is a receptor sheet, so sorry for the experts that I have to review a little bit what is the basis of these kind of diagnostic tools we have in the lab. Because all of us know what is a CDC CROSSMATCH, a classical complement-mediated cytotoxicity that we always do to our patients confronting the donor cells with the recipient sera, and we confront these T lymphocytes in the donor with the recipient sera and add rabid complement to increase the reactions. And if there are some antibodies in the blood that will react against the T cell lymphocytes of the donor, this cell will die, and we will see in the microscope. And the immunologists usually tell you, okay, this is a positive CROSSMATCH, which means the cells are dead because there is something in the blood, usually antibodies, that are killing these cells. Otherwise, if there is no antibody, you can put all the complement you want, the reaction is not appearing, and then the cell looks pristine, looks nice in the microscope. But one concept that I would like to transmit to you is that CDC cross-match is not finally a yes or no tool, is not a positive, negative tool, is not a dichotomic variable, it's a continuous variable. Has this any importance? In my view, it has, of course. Why? Because in the labs, in the immunological lab, finally, you count the cell death in the preparation, and if you are below 10%, you have a 1 point for the CDC cross-match. If you are between 11 and 20, you have 2 points, etc., etc. If almost all cells are dead, the tool, the CDC cross-match is by no means, of course, it is positive. So you will not do this transplantation. And if you have no cell death almost below 10%, you are sure that this tool, the CDC cross-match, is negative. But what about in the middle, the gray zone? By agreement, the labs, the immunological labs, have agreed that 1 and 2, so below 20%, the CDC cross-match is negative, and above 20%, it is positive. And usually, when a resident in immunology is in the lab looking at these cells and see, wow, 20%. So he's thrilled and called the senior immunologist to say, I have a CDC cross-match at this in the gray zone. So this is why this tool is not a yes or no. It's the evolution of decades after the Terasaki first observations at the end of the 60s, when we have agreed that what is positive and what is negative. And there are some gray zone parts that if you are a negative, have a negative CDC cross-match and then a very bad antibody-mediated rejection comes, perhaps it has been a gray zone CDC negative cross-match sometimes. And what is a PRA? The CDC classical PRA is an amount of micro CDC cross-matches in a plaque. You have the cells of the donors all over the area. Of course, in this hospital, you need a plaque with the donors that are usual in the area, not in California, not in Japan, not in Spain. You don't care these donors in terms of their reactions. And you do the 50, for instance, 50 simultaneous CDC cross-matches, and you see the positivities. And if a recipient has a 34 positives among 50, he has or she has 68% PRA. This is the only basis of this. Usual taking samples of different donors from the area, you have commercial plaques, and some plaques create their own plaques with the local donors they have. And this is a classical way to stratify patients. If you are above a given percentage, you can put it in 30%, 50%, 80%, 100%. Depending on the team, or the center, or the group, or the service, the department, etc., you will see this or that quoting as a high immunological risk or not. It has evolved a little bit. And you know perfectly, and I will not go through all these concepts, that the causes of HLA sensitization, which means a high PRA, classic PRA, or more modernly high MF5 illuminates, you will see in a moment what does it mean, are transfusions, are pregnancies, are previous transplantations, and these are the three main factors for sensitization. But we have transplant nephrectomy as a rising potential factor. Some patients that are taking off a previous kidney, you see as the antibodies increase in the serum, so we don't know very well why it is. And some authors have argued that immunosuppression withdrawal in these patients could be in the basis of this increase after nephrectomy. So it is not only transplant nephrectomy, but also immunosuppression stop after a patient comes back to dialysis after a failed transplantation. And there is some debate on the possibility of maintaining some small amount of immunosuppression, especially if the patient has another potential donor candidate. What is then a highly sensitized patient? This is a probably good definition: potential recipient of the graft with an amount of circulating anti-HLA antibodies which limits notably his or her access to transplantation. And the question is that you have to define what is notably, because as you see, the definition is not giving you a threshold of PRA. In Spain, we have agreed a lot of years ago that the PRA CDC of 90 is a very high immunological risk patient, so that only 1 out of 10 donors will be compatible for you if you have a 90% PRA. In the United States, the UNOS have put this in 80% to quote a patient as a high immunological risk patient recipient. Only 1 out of 5 donors would be compatible. So this is a 20% compatibility, this is 10%. And Eurotransplant is an European organization with 7 countries. Spain is not in Eurotransplant, has their own. We have our own programs, our own donor procurement system, etc., etc. But Eurotransplant, which is a joint of 7 countries, has this 85% definition. Has these high PRA any impact on kidney survival or patient survival? For instance, in graft survival, there is definitely impact. This is the CTS registry led by OPELS, including not only European kidneys, but also Australia, New Zealand, some Americans, etc. You see that above 50% PRA, you will have significantly lower graft survival at 10 years. 1 to 50% is also decrease in survival in the middle between no PRA at all, so 0%, or over 50 PRA. So this is like a continuous variable impacting graft survival, which cannot be in other way because it reflects the antibody you have in the blood, and the higher the PRA you have, the higher the risk of graft loss. For instance, in Catalonia, we have the registry of renal patients, and in this 20-year evolution, to have an above 50% PRA is associated with a dramatic decrease to 53% at 5 years at graft survival, which is a very important impact. And this is only the classical CDC cross-match, which is done in the labs since, for instance, in 76, we did the first kidney transplant recipient here in Mansoura University. Probably at that time this patient had a CDC cross-match at that moment. But during the years it has evolved, and we now also do this flow cytometry cross-match, which is not only a usual T-cell CDC, which is usually the classical CDC cross-match. This includes B cells and T cells. And the main issue with the B and the T cells is that the T cells, the T lymphocytes, only have HLA class 1 antibodies. So HLA-A, HLA-B, HLA-C, etc. But the B lymphocytes have also have HLA class 1 and also HLA class 2 antibodies. So if you have a lot of antibodies class 2, so anti-DR, anti-DQ, anti-DP, etc., and only do a CDC classical cross-match, you are losing the reaction of these class 2 antibodies against the T lymphocytes, because the T lymphocytes don't have these class 2 antigens. So to take the reactions, the bad reactions, the positive reactions in a cross-match, and take not only class 1 but also class 2 during B lymphocytes. So you usually need a flow cytometry cross-match, which is usually done in living donation in many places. We don't do this in deceased donor kidneys because you don't have time to do all these complicated, logistically complicated issues for deceased donors. And this is why sometimes we have these bad injections, especially before the Luminex era that we now do, as you will see in a moment. So the antibodies adhere to the cell surface after also stimulation of the reaction with anti-IgGs, anti-CD3s, etc. will do the positivity of the flow as a channel shift to the right. And this is a matter of technical issues that are not of great interest here now, but the question is that it mixes B and T cells, and it increases sensitivity. It is losing a little bit of specificity because you can have a positive flow without a graft flow.